like us, is alive. You don't have to venture far from our cities and towns. Just slow down and go back to nature.
So refreshing.
You may know me as an actor and descendant of Wadawurrung and Arabana people, but nature is my medicine. Holly's a writer.
They have that mythic fairy tale quality.
Whose inspiration is the magic of the natural world.
Come with us to the Otways, south of Melbourne, where rainforest reaches out to the rugged coast. We'll meet one of our country's most loved musicians, Missy Higgins, before heading to Granite Country, where a Wadawurrung man shows us how he's keeping country alive. When you're in nature, do you ever feel like it's healing you? Your breath becomes deeper, your mind clearer. Three hours southwest of Melbourne, we'll wander through Otways-Gadubanud country in the Great Otway National Park, making our way to Wadawurrung, or Cape Otway, before arriving at the Yuyangs, Wadawurrung country. Rising around 500 metres behind the Great Ocean Road are the Otway Ranges. Which capture the ocean winds, creating lots of rain, keeping country lush. We're on our way to Hopeton Falls. Gadubanud say country is family, and spending time with family strengthens spirit.
Oh, beautiful. The traditional owners, they call this their grandmother tree fern country. Old, wise, nurturing, love, family.
Yeah, that sense of home, going home to my granny. It kind of makes perfect sense with their soft, gentle fronds reaching out, that they're grandmother tree ferns. Always arms open, always welcome.
Yeah. It's good to look at country like family.
My granny died a few years ago, and I haven't felt the way that I'm feeling because I haven't been able to see her.
I'm sorry.
So, thank you. To come to grandmother country, it reminds me of how it felt to go home to her.
Not far from Hopetoun Falls, there's some strangers in this land.
Oh, it really feels like you come out of the world and into the redwoods world.
Giant Californian redwoods, transplanted here in the 1930s.
Not bad for a heap of foreigners.
I love trees. Yeah. They do a lot for us. Gives us, the energy, aligns our spirit. I don't know, it makes us smile. Because they exist.
Can you smell them? That woody, spicy smell. The trees release oils that infuse the air, and then we get to be lucky enough to breathe the oils in. You take a deep breath.
This is a medicine section.
The oils trees release are called phytoncides. They are tiny, powerful compounds that protect trees from harmful germs and parasites. They could help us as well by boosting our immunity when we breathe them in. Immersing yourself in nature is sometimes called forest bathing. From the Japanese term Shinrin-yoku. Being in nature reduces stress, lowers our blood pressure, and improves our mood. Step outside and find some nearby trees. Awaken all your senses. Bathe in their presence. Capture your experience and share it with us at #BackToNatureAU. North of the Redwoods Forest, there's a quiet inland lake. 50 years ago, a landslide formed this tranquil body of water. For one of our most loved singer-songwriters, Missy Higgins, being in nature gives her perspective.
There's something about coming to still fresh water like this that does something to my blood pressure. I feel like it does something to the speed at which I breathe.
What role does nature play in your life for you?
I think nature kind of returns me to who I am. I know that when I've gone through difficult times in my life, to get out into nature, it's like a medicine. Lets you start again. Especially to counter the craziness of the entertainment industry. I'm reminded that I'm not very significant in the scheme of things, and that's a good thing. I've written a few songs about being out in nature and looking up at the stars or looking out at the ocean or at some sort of vast space and realising how small I was. That just made me feel so much lighter, you know?
You know, that's a powerful ingredient, that is, when you realise that.
Yeah. I mean, this has been going on long before I got here and will go on long after I leave.
This ancient land, it evokes so many emotions in us. It exposes all our truths about our significance and what part we play in this world. Gliding across that water, it slowed us down, and it made us look at nature in a very, very different way.
Leaving the rainforest, we've travelled south to Wadawurrung, or Cape Otway. There's woodlands here of manna gums, whose soft leaves are high in protein, making them irresistible for some. Oh, hello.
They're beautiful.
Oh, how beautiful. We've walked to where the Bass Strait collides with the Southern Ocean. This rich coastline long provided for Gadubanud people. First Nations people have lived on this continent at least 65,000 years. But west along this coast, at Moyjil, or Point Ritchie, recent archaeological findings suggest people may have lived here 120,000 years ago. This is also known as the Shipwreck Coast. For the migrants who journeyed to Australia in the 19th century, this was the most dangerous part of their voyage. Over 600 ships came to grief along here, and hundreds of lives were lost. This is the oldest surviving lighthouse on mainland Australia.
This is my first lighthouse.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The Cape Otway Lighthouse guided ships along this treacherous passage.
What an incredible sense of hope and relief it must have been to have seen that blinking light.
For those people that travel across the water, it's that beacon of hope. Imagine what they were thinking. The first peoples. I mean, what do they see? The boats coming in, one after another. And in a lot of ways, countrymen, they had no idea where they were coming from. They were just coming over that horizon. And it didn't stop.
Up until the 1840s, the dense rainforest and dangerous coast kept Gadubanud people safe on their country. But in the same year construction began on the lighthouse, there was an organised killing of Gadubanud people here.
They're on a mission. There's a purpose to this. We ventured north over the Otway Ranges to a place called the Youyangs. This is Wadawurrung country, one of 5 nations that make up the Kulin Nation. For whom Bunjil the eagle is the ancestral creator spirit.
and protector of country. A stark contrast to the rainforest. This is one of the driest landscapes in Victoria.
A lot of butterflies.
There's a lot of butterflies.
I think they can see your butterfly. They're like, there's a big butterfly.
When trees and plants are flowering, butterflies come out in numbers like this. It's a sign of a healthy landscape. Butterflies have always reminded me of transformation and beauty.
Welcome to Wadawurrung country.
Wathaurung man Barry James Gilson is a poet, a postman, and a singer.
Yangs, it means big rock in the middle of a plain. Every time I come here, I feel totally restored inside me heart. It's not just a rock. It's got real energy, spiritual energy here. This is a place where thousands of years of my ancestors have been coming, camping, raising families, telling stories, the place where we discussed our politics. We actually had water wells set up here so we could get a drink, and we put a cover over the top of that so it would remain fresh.
Coming in from urban society, when you come up here, this is where you really connect.
Yeah, this is where I connect up here for sure. You can hear the birds, wah, crow, jernap, cockatoos. They're telling their stories. This place here, it's a part of an ancient songline that stretches from Coorong in South Australia all the way to Wilson's Promontory in the west. It was a male initiation route that Wathaurung men would walk with their elders, and they got taught along the way about law, the landscape, how to live. And they sung, hence the term, the songline. We called it Wadawurrung. It's a chant trail.
What's this peak up here, Barry?
Up here, it's Flinders Peak, they call it now, but its real name is Wibri Manhata. Wibri meaning mountains, Manhata meaning view all around. Now, I was at that place in 1802 where Wawa, my ancestor, saw the Matthew Flinders party coming up here. That was the first sighting of the invasion on our country here. We were alienated from our traditional lands. We weren't allowed to even talk or practice our culture. Everything that we see that's granite, Wadawurrung, the ancestral spirit created.
So when you're here, do you feel those creative spirits in this land?
I do more than feel it. I sort of see him sometimes. I dream about it. It's everywhere here. This is Wadawurrung. And when you sing songs, that energy flows through you. It's like I'm bringing back country.
Songlines remain in the land and within people. Country can heal us, and we can heal country. Finding inspiration from the trees we've been surrounded by, we're making a herbal oil for the skin. Gather some eucalyptus leaves from the ground, perhaps after a storm. Gently scrunch the leaves to encourage the release of vapours. Place in a glass jar. Cover with a plant oil, we're using macadamia, and store in a cool, dark place. After a few weeks, strain through a muslin cloth. The oil will now be a pale green colour. Use on your body to soften your skin and enjoy the soothing fragrance from the eucalypt.